In the bustling town of Riverside, nestled among the hills and rivers, lived a young man named Ethan. He had been working diligently in the local factory for a decade, honing his skills under the tutelage of an experienced technician named Mr. Wallace. Mr. Wallace was known throughout the town for his wisdom and expertise, and he took young Ethan under his wing. From the very beginning, Mr. Wallace instilled in Ethan the importance of hard work and continuous skill development. "Focus on your tasks and strive to be the best at what you do," Mr. Wallace would say. "Promotions and recognition will follow naturally if you excel in your craft." Ethan took his mentor's words to heart. He dedicated himself to his work, always seeking ways to improve his skills and contribute to the factory's operations. His efforts were commendable, and his expertise grew year by year. However, despite his dedication, Ethan couldn't help but feel frustrated as he saw colleagues of lesser competence being promoted ahead of him. He couldn't understand why his hard work and skill development weren't being rewarded in the same way. One evening, after another disappointing promotion announcement, he found himself seeking solace in the company of Mr. Wallace. Sitting on the porch of Mr. Wallace's modest cottage, Ethan poured out his frustrations. "I followed your teachings faithfully, yet I still find myself overlooked for promotions," he lamented. Mr. Wallace listened attentively, his gaze fixed on the river flowing by. Finally, he turned to Ethan and said, "You've learned well, my boy, but it seems there's a part of the lesson you've yet to grasp. Sometimes it's not about how brightly you shine all the time, but about when you choose to shine." Ethan furrowed his brow, puzzled by his mentor's cryptic words. "What do you mean, when I choose to shine?" Mr. Wallace smiled knowingly. "Sometimes taking a step back can reveal the true value of your presence. Take a day off, Ethan. Let the factory experience a day without you." Ethan was hesitant, but he trusted Mr. Wallace's wisdom. The next day, he submitted a request for a day off, citing personal reasons. As he strolled through the town on his unexpected day of leisure, he felt a mix of guilt and curiosity about how the factory was faring without him. When Ethan returned to work the following day, he was met with a flurry of chaos. Production had slowed, machines had malfunctioned, and colleagues were grappling with problems they usually turned to him to solve. The factory had struggled without his expertise. The factory manager, frustrated with the day's setbacks, called Ethan into his office. "Ethan," he said with a sigh, "we couldn't realize how much we depended on you until you were absent. You have a deep understanding of the operations here, and your absence highlighted that. In recognition of your contributions, we're promoting you to the position of senior technician." Ethan was overjoyed by the promotion. He felt a renewed sense of purpose and value. However, in his excitement, he seemed to forget the second part of Mr. Wallace's lesson. Believing that taking a day off was the key to success, he started frequently requesting time off whenever he felt unappreciated or overlooked. Months went by, and Ethan's pattern continued. He would take a day off, and upon his return, he would find improvements and recognition awaiting him. His reputation as a skilled technician grew, but so did his reputation for being unreliable. One fateful day, as Ethan approached the factory gates, he was stopped by security. Confused, he inquired about the matter, only to be informed that his employment had been terminated. Shocked and devastated, he left the premises in a daze. With a heavy heart, Ethan sought solace in the cottage of his old mentor, Mr. Wallace. He recounted the turn of events, his wounded pride evident in his voice. "I did everything you taught me," he said with a mixture of frustration and confusion. "Why did I lose my job?" Mr. Wallace looked at Ethan, his eyes filled with both empathy and understanding. "You understood the first part of the lesson well, my boy," he began, "but you missed the second part. Yes, people notice when a light goes off and suddenly realize its importance. However, if a light goes off too frequently, it's replaced with one that's more reliable." Ethan's face paled as he finally grasped the full meaning of his mentor's words. I became the unreliable light bulb, he said softly. Mr. Wallace nodded. Indeed, your absence became a crutch for the factory. You're incredibly talented, but reliability and consistency are equally crucial. As the reality sank in, Ethan sighed. I've been so focused on making myself noticed that I forgot the importance of being dependable. Mr. Wallace placed a reassuring hand on Ethan's shoulder. Life's lessons are often twofold, my boy. While it's vital to make your worth known, it's equally important to be reliable and consistent. And remember, just as you should appreciate those who support you, don't forget to value yourself too. Ethan nodded, grateful for his mentor's wisdom. He had learned the hard way that true success came from finding a balance between showcasing his skills and maintaining his reliability. As he walked away from Mr. Wallace's cottage, he carried with him a deeper understanding of life's intricate lessons and a determination to find that elusive balance in all he did.